I'm going to check while we're talking. I'm going to check. I want to know when I did that video because I did a video before he got in the NBA.
And I disagreed with you on the video, and I think that they may have reached taking him at 7, but man, he's been really good.
Oh, did
And
you
I'm
see him
eating a lot of
smosh
crow.
all over Ennis Cantor last
Oh
night?
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
I'm eating a lot of crow on marketing, including on finished podcasts. Um, but I'm upfront about it. I was wrong, at
Yeah.
least at this point, halfway through his rookie season, right? So,
Yeah.
and I watched the tape. I watched the tape, and you and I saw different stuff. I did not, and I don't even know if you predicted what he's doing off the dribble. I saw him as a pick and roll ball handler, but I didn't see him finishing the way that he finished. I didn't see that in college, so I didn't predict this. The shooting I assumed would be there, but there was no reason for me to believe he would rebound at this rate. And I don't think I'm alone in that.
Well, here's the thing. His rebounding rate was actually pretty good in college. It wasn't that low, and it was a weird comment like when I would see that and people predict it.
Yeah, but his contested rebound rate was not that high.
Oh.
And so that's what I like. I looked at the advanced statistics, and so it was just like, his contested rebounding wasn't really great. I know. I know. I know. I wish James was here right now to give me a look. But his contested rebounding rate wasn't that great, and so I just didn't predict this. But
Right, and
man,
by the
he's
way,
been really good.
yeah, this isn't even like that spectacular. He's averaging 15.4 points. He's only shooting 42.8% from the field, and then about 37% from three, which is like a little, average, a little bit above average. But
Yeah, but he's an impactful player.
yeah, and he's getting almost 8 rebounds a
And
game in
that's
about 30 minutes, which is also a thing. He's got, he's not playing like completely starters minutes. So
right.
yeah, and that's the thing. And by the way, I think the key here is it's kind of like KP, and we're seeing just like these glimpses of like, and they keep coming more and more of glimpses of like, oh my God, this is like, wait, like this is going to really turn into something good. Zach LaVine is going to come back at some point. Chris Dunn has been a revelation. And again, his stats aren't going to jump off the page either, but considering that I didn't think he was an NBA player last year, he's really made strides.
LaVine is back Saturday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, he's about 18 days ahead of schedule, which is really funny when somebody's coming back from an injury. But yeah, he's back on Saturday. So, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, I still think they need to move Mirotic because he's too good. Because
Right.
they need to lose games. But and someone in the chat just asked if we know about Mirotic for Favors, and I know that is a thing that was on the table. It doesn't really make sense to me from both sides because I think Favors is worth more than Mirotic, and I think that Favors is a weird guy to trade Mirotic for. He's going to be a free agent this summer. They're going to have to pay him to keep him. I don't know, man. Like, unless the plan is just to trade and then let him walk. I don't think that that's a great trade. The other one I threw out there was Mirotic for Burks. I think, you'd have Burks for the rest of this season and next season. He's a guard. He can make plays off the dribble, and you can always use that in the league. And someone pointed out that they've got a bunch of guards, and it's like, well, when you're a bad team, you just need talented people. His contract is reasonable. It's a little over $10 million a year. Next year, he'll be be easy to move. But you could give him sort of like a feature for the rest of this year, see how he does. If you like him, then, you've got a young-ish guy going forward. But if you don't, you can move him next, either this summer or next year for something else. And so I just think that's sort of the way, if I were the Bulls front office, that's sort of the way I would be leaning. Let's look for higher upside guys that are maybe on expiring deals, not necessarily this year, but next year. You're not going to be good next year, no matter who you draft. So let's think a little bit longer term, but not get locked into any sort of long-term money.
Right. Absolutely. Well, let's get a couple more questions in here before we wrap up here. But I see a lot of people mentioning ripping you for touting John Collins, who does look good. There are moments when he looks good too as a great athlete.
They're ripping me for the fact that we talked about John Collins and not Markkanen. And the truth is John Collins has actually looked better than Markkanen, but his minutes are just so inconsistent. Bud is doing a better job at tanking than Hoiberg is. let's just
Right.
call a spade a spade.
Okay.
You know, and with that being said, John Collins is also he's a more explosive athlete. The way he's kind of competing at the rim is a little bit different. He's
Yeah.
a completely different player. So the impact he has on the game is different. It's a little bit more apparent.
Yeah.
Markkanen, don't get me wrong, he's been really good. But yeah, John Collins I think has just been a little bit better, although he hasn't played nearly as much.
Right. All right. Well, here's a good one from eWorld Vanta. Asks, how good can this Bucks team be with a healthy Jabari who gets back in the motion? All right. Well, I don't know what that means, but when Jabari comes back,
Sure.
That's a fun team. That actually is a team that could threaten. But what are we going to say? What's going to hold them back?
Well, I mean, I think Jason Kidd is the real like X factor there. I've dreamt of the Bledsoe, Snell, Middleton, Parker, and Giannis lineup, and I wonder if we'll see it. Yeah, I think with Giannis, you've got enough rim protection, and you obviously have super switchability with that lineup.
Go through it again. So it's
Offensively.
Giannis. Do you say
So
Snell?
Giannis, Snell, Middleton, Parker, and Giannis. So Bledsoe,
Oh, Bledsoe.
Snell,
Yeah.
Middleton, Parker, Giannis.
It's a long team.
Again, right. Yeah, super long. So defensively, they should be great, especially if they're switching, right? If they're not out there hard hedging and things like that and giving up 4-on-3 situations. But offensively, it requires some creativity, and we're not seeing much of that. The Bucks kind of have fallen in love with that Hawks set, and it seems to be the only thing they run. I think they need to mix it up a little bit and, just, again, get guys spaced out. I mean, they could just go kind of 5 out, run some pin downs, run a little like Giannis. I mean, can Bledsoe set a screen for Giannis?
Yeah.
Why not, right? Like, you've got, with that lineup especially, my dream lineup there, everyone could screen for everyone else. They're all competent enough in the pick and roll. Maybe not Snell, but everyone else can run a pick and roll as the ball handler or as a screener. They're all stout enough to set screens. So why not just do it and just see what happens? I'm all for, with younger teams, throwing shit at the wall and see what works, instead of let me throw one thing at the wall, watch it work one time, and then pound it into the wall until it doesn't work anymore,
Right.
which is what they tend to do.
Yes, I agree. They need to come up with a scheme. In fact, it's worthy. I mean, I kind of mentioned a little bit in my 3-point defense video, and I mentioned the Bucks and why they were struggling so bad on that end. It might be worth just a video in and of itself, studying exactly what's going on there. But we know that they're defending the pick and roll in a 90s sort of way, and it's not helping them as they hedge and they double team the ball handler, and they're giving up basically fast breaks in the half court. And that's a real problem, because teams will lure them with a pick and roll out and get out of position, and then just slice and dice them up. So maybe one day they'll figure that out. It's interesting. I kind of want to look at like who's all in that staff and what age they are, because if they're all sort of the same era, then it's like I don't know if they're going to let go of those tenets they think are really important defensively.
Yeah, I mean, Tim Gergerich is on that staff.
Okay, interesting.
Right? So why not run the amoeba?
Oh,
I mean,
Jesus.
why not?
I don't know
just
why
see
they
it.
don't. I mean, we were talking about that earlier yesterday about why the teams don't press a little bit, like a 2-2-1 passive
Yeah.
press.
I think you could
amoeba.
do it like 8 to 10 possessions a game with a press, right?
Yeah,
Like a
that's it.
diamond press would work, man. Like, especially with a super switchable lineup. So if the press gets broken, everybody just runs down and grabs whoever's near them. There's no
Yeah.
reason why. And we've seen that recently with Miami. Toronto has done it a little bit. Boston could definitely do it with their personnel. And it's not one of these things where they need to be like Villanova or, Shaka Smart team and just press constantly. They don't have to do that. But, pick it up. Fourth quarter, 3 minutes to go. Hey, throw a press in there. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Dave, great show. I think we're getting late in the tooth here, long in the tooth here on a West
in the
Coast
tooth.
time. So really great stuff. You could tease a couple things. I have a store where I've launched where you can buy if you're a coach and you want to improve your game and improve how to teach. I have a whole bunch of videos, and we're going to be adding them every week or more. So if you were to go there, you can check out Oh boy, the link is long. I will be tweeting it out all day on Twitter, so keep your eye out for that. And also on our website, there will be a link there, so stay tuned. There might even be some radio in my future. I'm a little bit excited about that. So you might be able to tune in to hear Coach Nick and friends on terrestrial radio.
Terrestrial radio?
Yeah, isn't that what we call it?
Thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
FM. It'll be on FM. Very exciting. 80 some markets across the
DJ?
country. So we're working on that, and that should happen soon. So stay tuned for that. And then tomorrow I'm going to drop a video on all the different kind of pick and rolls there are.
Whoa! All right.
So you want to guess how many we got up to?
7.
7, Dave. Shame on you.
Just
Way more.
Out there.
24.
Yeah. Wow. 24 different types. Are you including a dribble handoff as a pick and roll?
No, see, that's the thing. No, I decided not to because I didn't want to convolute it. But horns, by the way, horns series, that actually you could have 4 different pick and rolls in there, but we're keeping it as horns. And then 21, where there's your little handoff, but we went into the ball screen. The 21 series, we have ball screen, that style. But then we're talking about high ball screens. We're talking about flat ball screens. We're talking about step-up screens. We're talking about inside ball screens. Corner ball screens, you know what I mean? It's crazy how many we got up to 24.
So you mean scenarios where you can run a pick and roll out of, not different types. I mean, there's only really there's pick and roll, pick and pop, and pick and short roll. But you're saying,
but I don't think that well, this is overtime here. Step up screen is not the same as a high pick and roll at spread. Those are just different, right? It's just different, and you're going laterally versus downhill or whatever it is. So, but you're right. There is a little bit of a paying attention to the notion of whatever's happening right before that too.
So there's that zipper cut dribble handoff,
zipper fist,
Spinulli. Right, yes. That they do. They call it the Spinulli pick and roll. It's not really a pick and roll; it's a dribble handoff.
No, well, I do it as a zipper into a pick and roll, which the Spurs would do. We have 25, which is another Spurs where you screen for the ball screener first. We have Spain pick and roll in there. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's a lot of different alignments and different ways to run it. And I think that it'll be it should be really fascinating to everybody as I run through them all in a row, and you can see how they're successful. All right.
I'm excited for that video.
All right. Awesome. Well, I'm going to get to work on that for tomorrow morning. And anything on your end?
No. Hey, guys, at B-Ball Breakdown, it's not a channel. It's a conversation. Are you in, Coach?
Yes, I am.